So, hi Elaine, and welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me on. It's nice to
Yes, it's always so nice to have you, and it's so positive to have these meetings.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a while. It's been a while. And I was
yes,
to everyone, you got one of my lovely necklaces on, which
yes,
you against the white blouse. And
yeah, it's lovely. I thought I had it today, so you see it on me.
yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, positive energy.
Yeah, we all, as I say, we all need that, don't we?
Yes, really. Today nowadays we really do need that.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything for those people who never listened? You are a trance medium.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, and it's like we can do it just a little short. How does that work?
How it works is I go into a relaxed state of mind, so it's a little bit like a form of self-hypnosis, which we're all capable of doing when we relax and meditate, and sometimes just before we go to sleep. Sometimes we can experience things just before we fall asleep when we're deeply relaxed. But this is a little different. When I go into this relaxed state, the energy that surrounds us, it expands when we're going into altered states of mind to receive spirit. So what spirit is when they know that I'm going to go into this state of mind, they prepare to step their energy into my energy, and the two combine, and that is where they're able to work with us. They bring their messages through, they use my voice box, they put energy around the voice box, and they're able to speak through it, with our trust and a trust in ourselves and them. They're able to learn how to come and communicate through human beings.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I mean, there's probably other complexities, but I don't understand the whole thing of it, how it works. But that is what I know as what he's told me, that he steps into my energy rather, and all our guides would do the same if you were to go into clairvoyant mediumship or trance. And it's just that with trance and physical, they step a little closer into our energy rather than standing beside us and working with us, say with clairvoyance, so that's how it works.
Yeah, and your guide is Jonathan Hunter.
That's right, yeah.
And he's from what year did he live?
He's from Islington in London. I'll show you a picture of him for the viewers, because they would probably want to see what he looks like. He needs a dust, I think. But
yes,
Jonathan.
Yes.
And a friend of mine who's been passed over a few years now, she was the one who offered to paint him. And I said that she said that's how I always imagined him to look, even before he was painted. Exactly like that, she said. That's how I saw him. And, other drawings have been done, but that's how she saw him exactly. And that's how I saw him in a dream. But he came from in London in the 1800s. And he came to me and made a pact with me, I suppose, before I came here, so that I could work with him when I was ready in my life. It was quite an exciting beginning, but he didn't come through at first. He left it a few months before he came through. I'm not exactly sure of how long, but my guess is a few months now. That he left it to come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must say the work you're doing, because you do private readings as well.
Yeah.
And
readings.
Yeah. With Jonathan, and I have had it, and I know many friends had it, and it's really healing. It is really helps you along life.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
No, it's certainly helped me as well. It took me a long time to trust in my guide and what I was getting. And sometimes if the connection didn't go so well with certain people, you know, I'd doubt it and sometimes thought to myself, oh, shall I continue with this? Is it really happening? All sorts of thoughts would go through my mind until I thought to myself, well, I can't help but trust it. I can't help but let go and know that what he's bringing is real. So I decided to let go and move out of the way as much as I possibly could so that he could come and work with me. And every time he's here, I feel his love. Every time he's here, I enjoy him being in my energy. I feel comfortable with that now. And the best thing that anyone can do in entering into the mediumship is to let go and to trust, because it is the hardest thing of all. But once you do that, it does make everything better. You know, the connection is so much stronger when you begin to trust and let go. That's how I feel anyway, you know.
Yeah. There are people who don't know so much about this kind of things, but so just to be tell them that he is in spirit, so he's not somebody living.
Yeah,
you know, you have to be
somebody living. You know, by the way he's dressed, he comes from the 1800s. That is the era that he comes from, and that is the era that he passed away in 1891, as far as he tells us. I would really love to find some sort of information on him, but with all the signs and everything that he's given me, it's only the human mind that needs the information and proof and stuff. But he did prove me right when he took me to the St. Mary's Church in Islington. He gave us all the information about it. I knew nothing of it. And we decided to go there years later and investigate, and it turned out to be true what happened to the church and how it was rebuilt. So I was so surprised at that and in awe of it, because I was able to go back to the church from what I see as a previous life and let that side of it go, you know. It was a wonderful experience just walking into somewhere that he'd been in, and what an amazing thing to be able to do. Two friends of mine that took me there to see my past, basically, and all of the signs on the way there was so, what would you call it, so strong and so obvious that I couldn't help but trust. I thought, well, you've given me so many signs. Spirit do. They give us signs, and when they do, it's amazing. They put it right in our faces sometimes, and this is exactly what he's done for me. So my advice is just trust and allow time to connect with your guide and ask them to send you signs, because they will do, and they're very good at it. Well, I've been doing it for not far. I mean, it'll be September. It will be 17 years in September. I've been doing this, you know, but not publicly for 17 years. But since 2005, I started. And ever since, I've been doing it, you know, not always publicly, but the last few years, obviously, I have become a lot more public with it, with the videos and everything. And I've then tried to let everybody know about spirituality, and my guide talks to them all and gives them spiritual advice, and so we do the best that we can, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah. I have spoken to you quite many times now, so I have got to know him a little more. And sometimes you have to ask. He never feeds your ego. He never feeds the ego, I would say. You would have to ask him.
He doesn't. I try to, remain as I am. I'm me. He's him, and I try to put it out to the world and try to be myself at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly confident. I'm a bit of a shy person, so going on camera for me was a big thing, to start with. And it still is. It still is. It's something that it takes a lot of confidence to do for anyone to come on camera. I admire anyone that can come on there with confidence. But I've had to step out of my comfort zone a lot in order to do this journey. And I think there was a perfect reason for that, to help me overcome my fears like anyone else in this life. People have sometimes fears about things and fears of judgment, so they don't find it easy. But with me sitting here, and if I can do it, you can. You could all overcome your fears.
Yeah. Yes, it's so. Well, do you feel ready to bring Jonathan in?
Yeah,
or through?
I like to listen to music, but if you want to cut the music out, but I want everybody to see me going into the trance, otherwise it looks like I've just shut my eyes and he's instantly there,
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll like music.
Yeah, that's that's what we normally do, isn't it, in the readings anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, my
Good evening, Jonathan, and welcome.
I thank you.
Yes, I have been listening a bit to the teachings on the what I call Spotify you have with Elaine when you come and speak.
Yes.
Yes, and so I have some questions here, and some are questions of these speakings, and some is questions that I have been thinking about. Is that okay?
That is fine, my dear. You may go ahead and ask these questions.
Yes. On these teachings, you have been speaking about the light that is to, you have said, it's going to sweep over the earth and cleanse the humans, I guess. And I would like to know a little bit more how this will happen and how it will feel.
I think that the earth is having very much of an awakening, looking at it from the human side of things. Many truths are going to come to your earth like never before. They are already happening at present, but there are more of them to come. And because the world is having a sort of a spiritual awakening, that means that if the whole world is going to experience some sort of an awakening, it doesn't mean to say that everyone is going to become spiritual overnight, because they may have a religion of sorts, or they may have other beliefs, or they may not believe. But I know that they're all going to feel something, because time is already changing in your world. A lot of people have said that it is moving a little quicker, which that it is, that time has changed. It is not to say that it is going to go extra fast and you cannot have any time to do anything, but it has made a change. So the energy of the earth and the people of the earth are going to change along with it. And when you have an individual spiritual awakening, you will experience many things surfacing in the way of truth. Sometimes there may be fears within you that you have not let go of, or emotions that you have not come to terms with. But I would say that once you start healing yourself of that, you will start experiencing more joy in your life, and you will become more empathic and forgiving and understanding of people's way in life. But there are also your own emotions to go through, to let go of, and learning how to love yourself and to connect with our world should you wish to. It is not forced upon one to do so, but it is fine to love yourself. It is fine to want to love you. And to become spiritual is the bonus, isn't it? To connect with heaven is wonderful. To connect with an angel is wonderful. And to connect with God, to connect with your guides is wonderful. So when you are awakening, let go of things that don't any longer serve you. And the sooner you do that, the better and stronger in life and more determined you shall become. You will be faced with these fears, but see them as things that don't any longer serve you, and see them as emotions that can be let go of should you wish to. And it is good to let go of them. So when we talk about putting the light over the earth, it is not that we're going to come there out of the skies. What it is to let you find love in your hearts, let you find light within you. The God-like being is within you. The soul is within you, the light is within you, it is already present, but it is just you taking notice of it. That is what it is. It's you taking notice of it and seeing it within you, because when I say that to you, you are a soul within. It is the truth. So when you leave your physical body, you become a light being. You become a soul that is pure and of light and love and truth. But at the moment, in this physical world, this realm that you are in, you are made up of physical flesh, but you have a soul within still that is there. Take note of that soul. It is your intuitiveness. Take note of it when it tries to show you things.
Take note of it when it is showing you the truth, and love your soul within yourself. When you love yourself, you are being true to yourself. Do forgive me, she is a little hot. It is very humid. I am very pleased that I don't have to put up with that. But what I want to say to you is waking up to truth. And the truth is, you are a beautiful being within inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have mentioned, or in these speakings or teachings, that our life, when we are a spirit, we plan it from the beginning to our death. And even the things that we change, we have planned. That is so? Yes. So what I then wonder is, if we now have planned our life in detail, why is it so that people who die and have done bad things, it's already planned, and then they have to come back, try to connect to say they're sorry when it is already planned?
Well, I would say the soul has a journey, and it will have a journey sometimes through the lower realms of spirit. So, for instance, the souls will incarnate from the lower realms of spirit into this world, and sometimes they don't behave very nicely. Well, they will keep reincarnating and becoming better people in each lifetime. You see, they have to learn how to know what it is to suffer. They need to learn to grow and to become a better person. So in each lifetime, they will gradually make betterment of their lives and themselves, and learn to become kinder, more empathic people through each life existence. So unfortunately, there are the lower realms of spirit, and they do incarnate, and they do come back and sometimes do bad things, but then when they learn through each lifetime, gradually, they will come back to being a better soul, and they will raise through the realms of spirit to the light. They choose to be there. They choose to live that life. But the greater purpose is there is balance in your world, which is a little out of kilter at present because the world is awakening. But there is balance of negative and positive. If you were to put a battery in with two negatives, it simply would not work. If you were to put a battery into a toy with two positives, it would not work. But if you put the battery in with a negative at one end and positive at another, it works. You see? So that is how life works. You learn through the negative to grow and come to the positive. It may not be easy to explain to people because they would say, well, what is the need for negative when you can get to the positive anyway, when we come from it? Well, that is what the soul chooses to go through, you see. In order to learn to become a better, more empathic person, you need to understand the negative side of life to get you to the positive and create betterment of yourself.
Mm. Yeah, it's difficult to understand it.
Yes. Well, if a person was to choose a terrible life, they may get involved in bad things, and or they may do a particular employment that is, I would say, for instance, they would be a hypnotherapist, looking at it from a positive point of view to start with. And then all of a sudden they have their spiritual discovery, they awaken themselves, and that becomes a part of their healing. You see, what I would say to you is they can use the hypnotherapy and put the person into a relaxed state and give them healing. So they have purposely, as a soul, gone into that line of work and used it later on towards their spiritual journey. When you're looking at it from a negative point of view, you may get a person that perhaps would spend their life going around with bad people and doing bad things, and all of a sudden they wake up and decide to come away from it. And then they may end up going into a line of employment or spirituality where they help other young people that are involved in these things to overcome it and become a better person. So they would have had to go through that in order to understand it first. Otherwise, they would have no idea what it was about. They wouldn't have any empathy because they wouldn't have been through the negative emotion or the negative way of life that they had lived previous to their awakening. So in the end, some of them will become healers. But if they are a bad person in this life and they don't wake up, they will usually come back again and incarnate and try to get it right the next time. So again, it's the balance of negative and positive, isn't it? Learning from the negative to appreciate and use the positive in your life.
Okay. Yes, this question is like a little bit like the previous. Now, it's a lot of every day you put on the news or people like they go out and just kill people today in malls everywhere. And I was wondering, why is it like that? It's so much now.
Well, a lot of negative is in your world at the moment. With it awakening, a lot of people are going to feel a lot of different emotions, and some of them may be a little disturbed. Perhaps they have had bad lives, you see, and that's all they've ever known, and they have come to be angry and resentful of other people's lives, and so they go out and do bad things because they are living with hatred. But if they were to be healed, then that hatred would be lifted from them. If they were to know love, they would not do that sort of thing. But just turn their back on it. They don't want to know it. They live with hatred and resentment, and so therefore carry out terrible things.
Well, we'll hope it will change. I know you've been speaking also on these speakings about Jesus. And you've mentioned that in heaven there is no religion. Is it so?
It is so, yes. There is no religion. There is no need for any religion. In our world, there is only love. And love is healing, love is bliss, and that is how we live. There is no need for religion. Religion is something that man lives by. Man, woman, child, they are conditioned to believe in something that will bring them comfort, but of course it is having fear tucked away behind it. It is not to say that one would not get something good from believing in Jesus and God, because that is in existence. Jesus did exist as a healer, and he was a wonderful healer, you see, because he gave so much love to the person, it would heal them. Their faith in him would heal them. But I would also say to you that God, the giver of divine love, is in everything. Not a man sitting in a chair judging people. God is in everything. Giver of divine love is in the essence of all that is. Heaven, earth, the universe, everything. Even a piece of you has a piece of that godlike essence within it.
But is it like that they say in the Bible that it is God's Son?
Well, there are many highly evolved spirits that have no particular need to incarnate or have lived many lifetimes and worked their way through the realms of spirit to become so high in the realms of spirit that they have no need to incarnate. But Jesus stands next to this godlike being and comes from that high place in the spirit world to come down to the earth only once to show people what he is, to show you that there is an afterlife, to show you that there is a spirit world that is welcoming you and loving you, and to believe in yourself and love yourself and stop fighting with one another. He came here to show the power of heaven and the power that he had from that heaven, and gave it to the people to help them heal themselves with faith in him. So you see, it is good that people find comfort in the church and want to be with him. That there is the negative and positive side of that as well. But we are not here to judge it. We are here to say that whatever you find love in, find love within yourself also.
I don't know if this works, but if he could say something here this evening, what would he would like to say?
Jesus would like to say, I want you all to learn to love each other. I want you all to be empathic toward one another. I want you to see negative for what it is and bring it to the positive. I want you to bring your lives and your thoughts and your intuitiveness together and love yourself. I want you to believe in our world because it exists. Heal one another. Love one another. That is what he would want to say. Have faith in yourself and others around you, that you can do things better in this life, that you can become your true self. I am waiting for you in this world, and you don't have to pass to the spirit world to believe in something so beautiful that is in total existence, that is the truth. So give yourself the biggest present that you could give yourself in this life, and that is the love for yourself as well as others. I already believe in you, he is saying, but I want you to believe in yourselves.
Well, we thank him for that. Some things you have already spoke of here, but I'm coming into karma. Some say that we can't get out of karma because we have to go over and over and over again. Is it really so?
Well, it isn't necessarily karma. People would call it karma because you come here to experience every emotion. And that you will experience in each and every lifetime, you see? But each soul will help one another on the journey, even if they are not so nice to one another. The other one would perhaps, or both of them would perhaps learn something from that. If there is trauma in one's life, they may want to come back to the earth to overcome it in the next life. Or if there is much negativity from themselves, they may want to come back to create a better life and become a better person. There are usually things to overcome for the soul. So in human form, you are not particularly perfect, but the soul within is perfect within you. And it knows exactly what it's doing. It knows the journey. So when you're looking at other people's emotions, if you're looking at it from karma, you could perhaps look at yourself for one day and step into the other person's shoes that you're not being so nice to and see how they would feel. So it is experiencing what they are experiencing, and then you will understand, well, maybe I shouldn't be so awful to them. I can now see how they feel because I have stepped into their shoes. But if they're not prepared to do that, they will come back perhaps in another life and say, well, now I am feeling it myself. I understand the emotion. I have lived through it. So it may take several lifetimes of experiencing several different emotions for one another as souls, so that you can come to create, I would say, more empathy within you. Even if one is being nasty, put love to them. I know it may seem hard in your world. You would say, well, if a person has done you terrible wrong, the last thing you want to do is give them love. You seem to want to give them hatred, you see? And what does that do to you? Have you ever found that when you feel hatred and resentment, you're all uptight inside, you're all stressed? You don't feel good at all. But have you ever experienced when you're being nice with a person, you love them, you're feeling that love, you feel so much more relaxed. And when you have forgiven a person, how much better do you feel? It's like a huge weight from your shoulders. So that is what I recommend. But if a person has done terrible wrong and perhaps taken a person's life that is in your family, then I would say, well, yes, it is hard to forgive that person. But if you learn about spiritual empathy, you will know that forgiveness is not going up to them and saying, well, I forgive you. It is sort of stepping into the shoes and understanding why they have done what they have done.
Mm.
And that's very hard for the human being to comprehend.
Yeah. I think it's difficult to understand that when you are a spirit, you are perfect. But as soon as you go into a human body, you're not so perfect.
That is right, because you live by ego and conditioning. And the ego dies with you when your physical body goes. Your ego goes with it, because there is no ego in spirit. There is no competition, no ego, no animosity. There is only love. But in your world, there is either side of the emotion, and many more to go with it.
Yeah. I've also heard that some people say that there are new souls that are born. But if we always exist, there can't be any new souls.
Well, I would say they are the souls that haven't incarnated to the earth for many, many years. So they may have had a lifetime hundreds and hundreds of years ago. They have just recently decided to incarnate to come and experiment with life. Perhaps to learn something about spreading the light around the earth.
Mm.
So they have a bit of a difficult, arduous journey.
Mm. So there are many of those coming now, because there's a lot of souls being born. We are so many here.
Well, I think that you will find that they are all coming back to do their last bit, to try and bring the light to this earth. That is what their purpose is. Most of them are going to be highly evolved beings that come to your earth. Not all. You see, there are still souls needing to learn things, but they are coming to your earth to try and straighten things out a bit.
Here on Earth, is there any other planet out there in the universe that is similar to Earth?
Yes, I believe there is. If you look through the realms of the universe, it goes on for infiniteness. It is stunning, and it is beautiful, and it is infinite. So when I say infinite, it is endless. It is not a circular sky that is wrapped around you to depict endlessness. It is absolutely vast, and it is growing. So yes, there are other planets, because if there are millions and millions and billions of stars, then they are looking after other planets. You see, not all of them are, but your sun is a star, and it is providing light and life and growth to your people of your earth and your foliage of the earth all together. Without it, your earth would simply crumble. So there are other planets that require light and darkness, and some are more dark than the others, depending on which way they are revolving around a particular star, and depending on how powerful that star is. But there are other planets that do exist, yes, beyond what you are looking at with the naked eye, or looking at something that you have been told about. So you've got all of the Earth's brothers and sisters and cousins that are with the Earth, and they are all revolving around the sun. But there are other realms of the universe that exist and coexist opposite to you. So you are not the only ones in the universe. And when I say this truthfully, I say it truthfully, because you are not the only ones here. Now, this is what your people are trying to discover. Who else is out there? And how can we travel to get to them? And we know that it would take many light years to get to it. And how are we going to get there? Are we going to create some form of time travel to get there? They are experimenting with all sorts of things, I should imagine, out of their curiosity.
Mm. Jonathan, is there anything you could speak of before we end this session today?
Well,
Anything you would like to say?
You are more than you think you are. And never lessen yourself about who you are, any of you. You are more than who you think you are. You are a soul that is residing inside a physical being that is highly intelligent and infinite and immortal. So know that when you go from this world, you will go to the spirit world. It is another realm where you step through another place into a beautiful place that it is a realm of spirit, where you will be loved eternally. But you are also loved whilst you are here on the earth. That never ends. Know that even if you have had a bad day, we all still love you here and always will do. Love is eternal. Love is healing. Love is the light. So give that light to each other. Become more in tune with yourselves and be who you are truly meant to be. That is my advice to you.
Mm. Well, I don't have any more questions for you this evening.
Well, I thank you for giving me what you have given, my dear. That is perfectly fine. I'm sure that they will all be able to take something from that.
Yes, it's been a little bit disturbing here. I hope it won't be like that when I get it out on YouTube. But I thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you again soon.
Well, thank you, my dear. It is much appreciated from our world to yours. May God bless everyone here today.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Looking at your those lovely, colourful pictures again.
Yeah. Was a little bit of disturbance here this evening, but I hope it won't it will be okay. But I don't know why it's like that.
I'll stop the recording.